What's up guys, this is Orbit here, TGN. If you didn't know already, on the forums under DCUO development, they've got a working in progress section, and they've got three kind of threads going at the moment, working in progress. One looking at electricity powers, one at hardlight, and one at Earth. Now, me being a long time Earth user, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of put a video together about some bits and bobs that I think the devs should maybe have a look at and utilize to help balance the Earth power set. So watch the video, kind of see what things I've put together, and if you've got anything to add, make sure you do in the comments below. But not only that, check the description below, which is the actual thread link, and voice your opinion there as well. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the PIs of Earth. You've got two PIs. You've got crushing and dazing. Now, in my opinion, dazing works really well as a close range DPS, and it actually works better that way. Crushing works better from range, so it's kind of easy to sort your loadouts out with an Earth DPS. You take the crushed route if you want to go from range, or you take the dazing route if you want to go from close range. This is how I do it. So that being said, I have done a lot of loadouts being close range, and one move that is always in my loadout is Jackhammer. Okay, so Jackhammer is a close to medium range attack where you can punch the floor and do precision damage. It does more damage when they are dazed. So that's really nice, does a lot of damage and that kind of stuff. The problem with Jackhammer is when you are close range, it is vulnerable to block, and with the bosses and the new mechanics going in these days, the bosses are always blocking, which means when you're going through your rotations and you go to hit your final big hits, stacking this up, you're getting thrown onto your back. You need to restart on your rotations, so you are losing out damage that. What I suggest Jackhammer is vulnerable to interrupt. That way you haven't got that problem. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have to say with close range DPSing, but the main problems come from ranged Earth DPS, mainly due to long animations and that kind of stuff, and I'm going to go through that kind of stuff now. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Rumble Crush. Now, Rumble Crush needs to pretty much be on an Earth DPS loadout in raids and that kind of stuff, because it's the only attack which crushes large groups of enemies. You've got another one which is single target, which is no good for raids. You need one which crushes multiple enemies. Rumble Crush is your only option. Otherwise, you're relying on other group members to apply the crush effect. So that being said, Rumble Crush, all of our damage is going to benefit from them being crushed, so we need to crush them. The problem with Rumble Crush is it takes far too long to spawn. You got to spawn this big rock up into the ground and then throw it. Then go through your cycle through your rotations, and by the time you animate, all of your animations are done, they're uncrushed, and you've got to pick this rock up again and throw it again to crush them again. So it's just my opinion on this, okay? Two options, like they did on Fire. You can either have the option to pick it up and then throw it, even though that still needs to be quicker though. That needs to be a lot faster if you're still keeping that in the game. Pick up and toss, literally in one button, and then toss. Or have the option for it to spawn from the air, like Meteor. Just spawns from the air, drops down and crushes everybody. That would work nicely. Do it that way. But as your main kind of crushing attack, it needs to be a lot faster. And look at the damage on it as well. 47, ridiculous. Bear in mind let's have a look. 3,680 might. 107 crit. 48, ridiculous, stupid damage, takes too long. They need to do something about Rumble Crush. Okay, so moving on, now we're going to look at two moves which are quite similar in terms of what needs changing with them, and that is Striking Stones and Shards. Both really good to have on your loadout. They both apply a damage over time when the target is crushed. The problem with these two attacks is they've got really long animations, and for not much damage. They both leave a dot when they are crushed, like I just said, but it doesn't last very long, so you're constantly having to reapply this long animation damage over time, to keep those dots on. Now there's a number of things they could actually do to improve this. One would be, keep the same long animations but have rewarded a long damage over time. What I think they should do though is reduce the animations, especially on Striking Stones. That definitely needs to come down. The animation is way too long on Striking Stones, and possibly bump up the damage of the dot which follows. Yeah. Okay, and the next move we're going to look at is Totem. Totem is a cool attack. It spawns a totem up into the ground, it knocks back and does damage over time to nearby enemies. The problem is it's a long cast time, so they need to speed that up in line with Soulwell is now. You can pop up Soulwell really fast now, so they need to make the same animation for that, the same kind of time for that to come up, and also they need to buff up the damage massively. Check the damage out for this, guys. 6 4 8 7 4 6. This, guys, this is Earth DPS. This is an embarrassment to all DPSs, and look at this. 3,680 might, and I'm hitting that dummy for 4. Not 40, not 400, for 4. Like, I can count that on one hand. That is ridiculous. That damage has to go up. Otherwise, no one's going to use that. It's just a completely waste of time. Speaking of completely waste of time, Totem also needs to increase healing to pets as well, Earth pets, because the pets are just going down. They're flying up, they're flying down, and they need that extra healing. That Totem needs to heal those pets, so they need to increase the animation, speed that up in line with Soulwell is now, and they need to increase the damage to be worthwhile having on a DPS loadout, and they need to increase the healing to golems in tank stats. Okay, and the next move we're going to talk about is Upheaval. Upheaval has great potential. It has a similar animation to Dreadful Blast of Rage, like the underarm precision attack thing going on here. You can aftershock it up to 3 times, but it just doesn't hit like Dreadful Blast does. You hit Dreadful Blast and you can hit like heavy precision damage here. Upheaval on the other hand is completely different. You're just not hitting the numbers that you should be for the amount of power that it costs and the amount of time it takes to hit that third aftershock should hit heavier than Dreadful Blast because it's longer. You're doing 3 aftershocks to build up that damage. Dreadful Blast, you're just doing the one. Comboing in one time and you're hitting that heavy damage. You've got to do 3 things, and all 3 precision ticks here don't add up to what Dreadful Blast hits in 1 tick. So for me, they need to increase that massively, because potentially Earth DPS, you could crush them really fast potentially. Slap on your couple of quick damage over times when they increase that, and your damage over times are going, and then you're hitting big with your Upheaval over the top. But at the moment, no way, you can't cycling through that way, it's not going to work. So that needs to, decrease the power of this, increase the time, so speed it up a little bit and massively bump up that damage of upheaval. Okay, now I want to talk about the aftershocking mechanic for Earth. Now, for Jackhammer, for example, we hit the floor and it provides us damage absorption. Now, the problem with that is we ain't got a clue if that damage absorption's on. Like, there's no indication that I've got damage absorption. No indication whatsoever. Whereas Rage, you've got the heartbeat. Now you need to do a move so you can save power a little bit by getting precise timing. For Earth, you applying your damage over your damage absorption, and you've got to kind of like count it in your head almost before reapplying it. You almost end up spending more power because you overcompensate in trying to keep the damage over time, the damage absorption on. When, you know, if there was an indication of when your damage absorption was about to run out or when your damage absorption was on, you could time it a little bit better and overall use less power as an Earth tank. Apart from that, guys, if you have any opinions on any of this, do share down in the description below, but also you'll find in the description the working in progress forums discussion. It might be a good idea to voice your opinion there as well. I know I'm going to as well. I'm going to include this and kind of post this video out there to get this out. Make sure you do the same, guys, because the devs are listening. Devs are listening to your opinions and that kind of stuff, and now's the time. If you need anything, if you want anything, if you think anything needs kind of tweaking and that kind of stuff, it does, let us know. Let the devs know. Apart from that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and like, comment, subscribe.